In the previous example, we checked for the explicit teapot class. But what if we want to check all objects that have a radius property, including sphere, cylinder, geosphere, and so on? Of course, we could add additional logical tests, like for all in geometry where the class of the object is either equal to teapot or equal to sphere or equal to geosphere or equal to cylinder, and the radius is less than 20 units, then collect the objects and select them. But our aim is to save us work, not to create more work. And there might be even more objects that have a radius property that we have not included in the test. In fact, the Hydra also has a radius. In this case, it would be a good idea to just ask every object whether it has a radius property, and if it does, compare to the threshold value. The helpful function that will let us do this is called hasProperty. It returns true if the property in question exists, and false if it does not. For example, hasProperty sphere 01 radius returns true, while hasProperty box 01 radius returns false. This means that our select by radius less than 20 units script can be changed to select for all in geometry where hasProperty O radius and the radius is less than 20, collect As you can see, this test includes all the objects that have a radius property. We can simplify this even further. MaxScript provides an error trapping mechanism that lets us ignore any errors that might occur inside the code. It is important to note that the error trapping is relatively slow compared to the other methods, but sometimes it can be a time saver when we have to type in a command line in the listener to get some job done. The previous function could be written this way. For all in geometry where try all radius is less than 20, catch false, collect all. As you can see, it performs the same operation. Let's see what this means. The try statement opens a new context in which any error that might occur causes the script to jump directly to the expression after the catch statement. This means that if the object currently stored in the loop variable O doesn't have a radius property, instead of throwing an error as we saw before, the where statement is going to return false. The two functions are equivalent. They do the same job. The one is slightly longer to type in, but executes faster. The other is easier to type in, but slightly slower. Since modifiers are technically accessible as part of the scene objects, we can also perform search operations based on the presence of certain modifiers on the stack or on values of these modifiers. For example, in order to select all objects that have a bend modifier and the bend modifier has an angle greater than 90 degrees, we could say select for all in geometry